This is the Maggie McGuy Show.
How is it that some people want a prophet to just prophesy or see a vision and tell them who their spouse is?
So they rather say, if I get this wrong, I want it to be God's fault or the prophet's fault, or somebody's fault. They want to alleviate the responsibility of going through the natural processes in how you identify a spouse,
I really believe that most people go to a prophet or don't want to lean on themselves because they're not learning, they don't have a relationship with God first and foremost. They don't know how to trust the Lord. And I'm telling you, when you have a relationship with the Lord, He will speak to you and tell you you're going in the wrong direction. And oftentimes we hear God as well, but then we don't like what He's telling us. And so we want to get confirmation to our wrong desires.
What you should do is ask God for these 3 revelations. And He said, an internal witness, an external witness, and a circumstantial witness. The 3 witnesses are this. The internal witness is that God has to speak to you first. You need to get a confirmation. You need to fast. You need to pray. You need to sit down with the Lord and really ask God, and see what you feel the Lord is saying to you. That is this person your wife or this person your husband. That's the spiritual internal witness. The external witness is where someone you don't know can come and confirm that that someone is your wife, and the other one is the circumstantial witness, where you can see that you're aligned in the same path. You have the same goals, you have the same agreement, you have the same mind towards ministry and life. And that's very important, because a lot of the time that we don't do the, dating is supposed to be data, isn't it? You get data to make sure that you are have the same direction, have the same philosophies in life. Because a lot of people, they break up, or marriages break up because the philosophies towards life and growth are different. They don't match.
I think people need to know that spirituality is just one aspect of our life. By the way, relationship, marriage, we are not marrying spirits. We are marrying individual. So you marry someone that is speaking in tongues, that is seeing vision. This person can use the toilet and will not flush you.
My God, a lot of people don't understand because it's sometimes like you could be thinking that, and you can have expectations of your spouse. You could think to yourself, okay, now I'm married, I want somebody that's going to like do this, that, and this, but they're not made that way yet. They have to develop into that way. They have to develop into that person. So the prophetic revelation you get of them is not who they are right now. And that's why the prophet can't tell you your spouse. Because even if it was God's will, it needs a participation from the person.
That's right.
To be able to make it happen. And that's why we can't rely on prophets to pick. We have got to understand it's our responsibility to see, to identify, to discern. It's our responsibility to know who we are first. Before we go into a relationship.
The only way for a marriage to live is for you to die. Like, that's literally it. And one thing God told me early, there'll be things I'll be complaining about. Lord, why does He do this? Yeah, but God, He does this. And God's like, that's your assignment. I've given you as His wife the key to unlock certain things inside of Him. And I've given Him the key to unlock certain things inside of you. You have an assignment, you have to study for that assignment. So I have to study my husband.
So imagine there's this person who has all these confirmations. You understand? They have all these confirmations of this great person, but then they can see that this person has anger issues.
It might be the right person, but not the right time. And that's where the prophetic does come in, to discern the right time, the right moment. Because some people are just not ready for marriage in that time of their life. They still need that development, because like you said, marriage needs a death. Marriage needs a death to self. It needs and if you still have anger issues or different issues that are affecting your personality, there might be some internal healing or ministry that needs to take place on an individual before they become a union. God will speak to you first and allow the prophet to confirm it. So me as a prophet, I mature people to prophesy. I mature people to hear from God. I mature people to discern the will of God. You know? And so if I have to prophesy to you the will of God, that means I haven't done my job.
People are coming off with these questions of, well, God told me you're my wife.
You put the person under a lot of pressure, and you really can use that manipulatively. You know, statement, God said is my wife. Wow. You know,
you have, it's like you have no choice in this matter now.
God wouldn't tell you and not tell her, or tell you and not tell him. You know, he's not going to make it a personal revelation, a private revelation to you. Well, this is a mystery. I'm only going to tell you. Same thing. If God says to you that someone's your wife, you got to know when to say that. Do you know? Or when someone's your husband, you know, you got to know when to release that. You know, and I think it's got to come to be in a place where it's needed to be released. Do you know? You know, when not when you're not in a relationship, not when you don't even know the person. You're struggling to pronounce their name. You know,
struggling to pronounce their name.
And you just, when it's time that you're actually in a courting position, and now it's time to see, should we take the next step to be married? Well, then you know, if God's taking you from being friends to be dating, courting, and now you're actually considered being married, then you know the word you heard from the beginning was valid. Because there's many times, as my wife was saying, is that sometimes you think you hear from God, but it's mixed up with this frustration and waiting. And marriage, that next step is so important that you make it with the right person. Marriage is ministry. And if you don't have a concept of vision and a concept of teamwork and a concept of partnerships, it's more important than having a prophetic word, whether it's the one or not the one. You know, those are the things that actually make something work. Do you know? And so we got to get into a place now where we readjust ourselves from relying on prophetic words to confirm something, and rather have introspective vision to see, am I actually ready to be a wife? Am I ready to be a husband? Do you know, having those honest conversations with the Holy Spirit, Lord, what is it you want to transform in me still that makes me ready for this? Because if you haven't given it to me yet, maybe I'm not ready for it, or maybe it's not something. But you know, if I am ready for it, then you know, allow me to understand that when you give it to me, I can keep it and I can build it and I can understand what it's made for.
You are, first of all, the prophet of your own life by hearing God yourself. We're encouraging you, people of God, please get intimate with your God. Get intimate with your God. And you might say, well, how do I do that? Read your word. Start there. Start there.